Hello, everyone. This is Sharon with Entelechy Visions, and this is an energy update for January 6th through January 12th. Happy New Year! We made it. We made it through the wild, powerful, kind of pressure cooker year of 2019 that was finalizing the entire decade. So, you may have found that over the course of the last several weeks, and especially December in general, has felt like that pressure cooker. We are still in that eclipse doorway because we had that really, really powerful eclipse on Christmas Day, and we will be completing this eclipse passage on Friday, on the 10th, where we have another eclipse, a full moon lunar eclipse, which is all about that completion. As full moons are already about that closing of a chapter, closing of a cycle, a full moon paired with an eclipse is like that completion times 100, if not 1,000. So really adding that power to that closing, to that finalization. So it's putting that cap to the last year to really let us let go, to really let us to integrate all of the lessons that we learned over the course of the last year and over the course of the last decade. You may have found that a lot of people have been reflecting in the days leading up to New Year's Day to 2020, reflecting on the past decade, because this really is finalizing such a massive chapter and moving us into this new cycle. So we've been under the influence of this cosmic pressure squeeze, and it's really been unlike anything because we're readying ourselves. We're readying ourselves for this new role, our new missions, to really stand more fully into our truth, because this time is really calling for it. And this past decade has been a bit of a primer course for this year. So that's why 2019 especially felt so grueling, because we were completing all of that. We're completing boot camp almost. And yes, the lessons will still happen. Yes, the challenges will still occur, but we're really kind of stepping into more of ourselves in this coming year. And so that's why we have been under this pressure squeeze to really wring out anything that might still be remaining that is holding us back from standing more fully into our truth. So you may have been undergoing many different things during this eclipse passage. The reflection of the old, things releasing, reflecting on past friendships or ties that seem to be dismantling, where maybe you thought that certain people were going to come with you into this new cycle. You noticed a bit of a watering down of certain connections, and that's all in preparation for where we're heading. So this all had its purpose, even if it was challenging, even if some endings, some losses, some difficulties were taking shape surrounding this eclipse passage. This is prepping us. And so it could have shown up even emotionally. And I know that I've been experiencing it too, where a lot of karmic completions have been coming up, that we moved through a lot of ancestral karmic healing over the course of 2019. So that could be resurfacing a little bit as well as we enter this new phase. Just kind of reminding ourselves of those lessons that we learned and how powerful, how potent they really were. Because when we are looking at and we're handling ancestral karmic clearings or healings, some really deep family issues, some core woundings that we've been holding based on our upbringing, and we're shifting that, it's really hitting so deeply that it can be really, really uncomfortable. So as we finalize that lesson, we're integrating now who we are as we have moved beyond those lessons, as we've conquered them, as we've really allowed ourselves to transform from them. And this might also be showing up, all of these themes can be showing up for you in the dream state as well. When you find that you are able to sleep, because the eclipses can bring about some insomnia with the intensity of the energy, when you are able to sleep, you may find that dreams are kind of taking you into these spaces of processing these issues, some of these lessons that have been learned or are being released through you as we continue on through this passage. So this is kind of like the last remnants of this old way. It's still surfacing as we have one more week left of this doorway. So what I keep hearing, the phrase that keeps rising up, is the phrase, remember the bigger picture. So if you're moving through any discomfort, if you're having any endings, any losses, if you are having some emotional issues, if there are some difficulties arising in your life that are challenging you with other people, with relationships, or with your own mental state, just to kind of zoom out your perspective and to remember the higher plan, the higher vision taking place right now. And that helps us to get less caught up in the drama of the day-to-day existence of what's really happening, and to kind of take a higher viewpoint and realize we're releasing stuff. We're letting go of things that aren't serving our life anymore, that might not be serving who we are becoming. And it's showing up in these unique forms, whether that's through some difficulties, some issues, some conflict with other people. And just as example, these can be what's occurring, or you could just be having a very, very inward and reflective experience right now. And that can also be part of it as well. That inwardness is returning you back to kind of a 0 point, returning you back to that space of the in-between, before the new begins and the old ways are transforming and dying, kind of this rebirthing space. So allowing yourself to have the experience that you're having, and to know that this powerful passage is extremely powerful. So this will be rippling out for the next 6 months of our life, and really shaping and setting the tone. And we'll find that this is even more amplified. This coming eclipse on the 10th is possibly going to be a pretty potent one. It is in the sign of Cancer, which has a lot to do with our emotions, as Cancer is the sign of water. It has to do with our emotional state, our feeling sense. So you may find that the emotions that come up surrounding this eclipse may be pretty powerful for you, or subtle, again, just depending on where it's falling for you in your sign, in your chart. However, it is paired only a couple days apart from a really, really potent conjunction that has been getting a lot of talk. And I have spoken about this in several updates throughout the year, kind of leading up to it. But it's gotten a lot of attention because it has not happened for a very, very long time, for eons, I believe since the 1500s. And this conjunction is between the planets, just to get a little nerdy on you, between the planets Saturn and Pluto. And Saturn is the great taskmaster, likes to get things done, likes to really check off all the lists and create that structure and our foundation. Pluto is the planet of transformation, of rebirth, And so these two planets pairing up in alignment is highlighting these areas of rebirthing, transforming foundation, transforming structure. And so, what this means, not only on a personal level, is that we'll be rebirthing and transforming the foundations of our life, but on a collective level as well. So, you'll find that this alignment ripples out throughout the course of the next decade, really reshaping and reforming old structures, because it's a time that is calling for a new way. That old structures are no longer working, as we can see. And so you'll find a lot of maybe some dismantling taking place over the course of the next decade. With that can come challenge, but with that can also come a lot of expansion. So this is very necessary. It is a very necessary time, and this is why we are here, to be part of this time. And it's aligning with this whole aspect of us stepping more fully into our missions. So you can see how these two are pairing very perfectly together. For us to step more into our truth, to really light up and be all that we are, and to not fear any of that, to really let ourselves shine and to be our authentic self, to share our gifts and our creations, while all of these structures shift and transform and our world kind of rebirths in a sense. So it's a really, really powerful year ahead, and we may find that looking back upon 2020, we'll look back on this year as the year that really changed it all. And we also have, not to skip ahead too much, but just to shape what we are moving into, what we are walking towards, is that we have a year full of 6 eclipses. And 6 eclipses are the maximum amount of eclipses that you can have in a year. So we will find that each season of this year is going to bring about some really powerful work, some really powerful transformation. And this is also a year of that expansion, of that abundance, of those tangible results of our work. So a very earthy year. So a very wonderful benefit of this year is that we'll find these tangible aspects of our dreams and missions finally solidifying, finally taking shape, creating more structure for our life, creating more of that foundation. So if you're finding that you don't know which end is up right now, usually it allows, or it takes some time to really integrate the changeover of the year. So January is a little bit of that integration. It's expansion and abundance, but it's also integrating from the previous year and heading into this new cycle. So allow yourself to really find your sea legs in this new year, because we are going through this eclipse season. We are going through this big conjunction point on the 12th. So a lot is shifting, a lot is rippling. So if life is looking a little odd, or there's a lot happening, or you're feeling very anxious within, know that this is all occurring. Remember the higher vision. Remember the bigger picture of what is taking place, and to be gentle with yourself, to be gentle with others. And that's a big lesson, because we're all going through this. We're all experiencing the shifts in our life, the shifts internally in our own way. So if there are outbursts happening around you, it could be that some people are just releasing a lot of that old pent-up energy of what they've been going through. Yes, it's always mindful to not take it out on others and to have healthy outlets when you are trying to release something. So just be aware of that if it's yourself needing to release something. But also if somebody is projecting that to you, it's good to step away and hold healthy boundaries, but also to remember the bigger picture, that we're all trying to do our best through this time. And we may not always have a good day. We may have a very difficult day where there's a lot that's churning within. And it could just be effects upon our mental state, our emotions are going all over the place, or maybe some old lessons are surfacing that we can't really get a hold of or grasp or understand quite well. So this is all happening to everyone. So remember when you can to really have a smile with others, to really be compassionate with others, to really share your kindness, your love, your truth, your creations, because that's what's really going to help us through these times, is to connect with others, to be honest with others in a way that is loving, in a way that is authentic. Because the more we are connected, the more that we feel that support, and the easier it becomes to really step through these different cycles of transformation. And that will be a big theme and a big resource for us in this coming year. So it's a very, very amazing and powerful year ahead of 2020. And allow yourself to just let go and release the crash course of 2019 that we have been through, and the last decade for that matter. That is behind us now. And we are facing a new day. We are facing a new age of being refreshed. We have been reset through this energetic gateway of these eclipses. And we are looking upon the horizon now for the potentials of what we really wish to create in this new year. So shake off the cobwebs a little bit of your old self and allow the light to really seep into the cracks of any stagnation that you might be feeling still. You made it. You made it through an old way. And it's now time to shape a new day. So if you need additional support at this time, I offer remote or in-person sessions. You can reach out to me at enteleckyvisions.com and to book there. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, a very happy new year, and I thank you for listening.